How did Mexican civil society turn online backlash into co-creations of Coco's State of Dead? In this video documentaries, we trace that shifts from protests to consultations to visible changes in language, visuals, launch strategies, and audience experience. In 2013, a trademark filing for the Day of Dead sparked a wave of criticism on social platforms. Journalists, artists, and cultural groups use social media to explain that the Day of Dead is a sacred cultural tradition and communal heritage, not a trademarkable product. Our research question is, how did Mexican civil society use social platforms to context and co-produce Coco's the Day of Dead representations, and what does this reveal about its intermediary power in Latin America's media system? We build a digital timeline with verifiable sources. Each card links to the credible evidence, news reports, festival announcements, industry pages, box office data, and local reviews, so every claim is traceable. First, contestations, public explanations, and hashtag campaigns reframe the filing as a matter of cultural legitimacy. The attention creates reputational risks for the studio and make consultations the only credible next step. Within days, Disney withdrew the application and signaled stakeholder consultations. Watchdog pressures didn't just produce an apology, it opened a procedural channel for civil society to influence decisions. Then a pivotal turn. Lalo Alcarazi, a vocal critic, joined as a cultural consultant. This move expertise inside the workflow, from external critic to structural input on dialogue, pronunciations, and cultural references. On screen, cultural symbols became visual grammar. The marigold bridge literally connects words. The Land of Dead, Lightning used millions of sources to carry themes of family, memory, and traditions to global audiences. Related strategy localized to Coco World premiere in Morelia, partnering with a Mexican festival and seeding early word of mouth. Soon after, it became Mexico's all-time box office leader, a measurable outcome consistent with cultural first choices. Policy travel to distributions. In Spain, the studio kept the Mexican Spanish dub, breaking the usual Castilian redub. Spanish reviewer praised the choices as acertado, saying the accents and idioms improve immersions. Here, consultations values showed up in audience experience. Also, a bilingual track is then co-productions into music marketing, reaching US and Latin American publics. At last, in 2018, Pixar codified cultural consultations in public forums. Who advises, how scope is set, and how changes are tracked. The Harvard Dialogue and Alvarez Talk turned 80 hoax fix into a repeatable workflow, evidence that civil society's intermediary role now lives inside the pipeline.
Here is our main point. Social platforms can turn public oversight into a working pipeline. First, the public and the media act as watchdogs. They raise a clear problem in front of everyone. Next, the studio starts consultation. Critics and community voice are invited into the room. Finally, some of that advice become core production. We can see real changes in lines, accents, subtitles, posters, and even release choice. Our case, the Backlash in 2013, opened the door. In 2015, Lalo Alcarazi enjoyed us on cultural consultant. In 2017, Spain kept the Mexican Spanish dub, which broke the usual redub rule. The road from watchdog to consultation to co-production is visible and documented. It shows that what we called intermediary power, civilized society moving from outdoor pressure to inside influence. What should become the new normal? We suggest a clear four-step loop: listen, consult, co-create, and credit. To check if it works, we use simple measures.
First, terminology accuracy in the final test, so words and cultural terms are used correctly. Second, a public change log that shows who advised, what changed, and why. Third, early local partners before releases, such as festivals, unions, or community groups. When we track these points over time, we can tell the difference between real change and symbolic gestures.
Our working idea is projects that publish a change log and work with at least 2 local partners tend to show higher accuracy and face less backlash 6 to 12 months after launch.
All of our evidence and sources are in the digital timeline, including the consultant's hire and the spin down decisions. You can check the dates, the links, and the before and after examples for yourself. Thanks for your watching.